Madison and is a part of the youth group there. Chloe also conducts a self-led Bible study every week, which is probably her most endearing trait to me. She truly has her priorities in order, knowing that Jesus Christ is the Lord of her life, and she's here to share with you tonight. Chloe.
Please stand for the prayer, a moment of silence and pledge.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for giving us another day on your beautiful earth. Please be with the leaders of this meeting and help them to make decisions according to your will. Please keep all of our students, faculty, and staff safe throughout the rest of the school year. Please be with our own Mrs. Shelley Rodriguez as she battles breast cancer. Please help the decisions made here tonight honor your name. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to pray.
Thank you. During this moment of silence, I ask you to remember one of our former school board members, Mrs. Susie Williamson, who passed away yesterday in Tallahassee, Florida. Susie represented District 1 and served the people of Madison for 16 years on the school board. Her dedication, devotion, and commitment to the students, employees, and the citizens of Madison was a constant during her years. We extend our sympathy to the family of Susie.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have some amendments to the agenda tonight, 3 as a matter of fact. Number 1, we will place under agenda 2.3, election of the chair. Second will be under items for consideration. We will be removing 5.2, the staffing plan. We'll workshop that on the 20th, on Tuesday the 20th, January 20th. The third one will be under items for consideration, individual consideration, 5.11, all state closeout. At this point, will you adopt the agenda? Do we have a motion to adopt the agenda?
I move to adopt the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Thompson, second by Ms. Hagan. Any discussion? All in favor of adopting the agenda? 5-0. At this time, we'll have our election of the chair. Is there a nomination for chair?
Ms. Gibson, I nominate you as chair of the board.
I second. Okay, we have a nomination by Ms. Thompson, second by Ms. Knight. Any discussion?
Do you accept?
Pardon me?
Do you accept?
Yes, I accept. I accept. Thank you. All those in favor? 5-0. Okay. Public comment. We'll have David Russ.
Do we need to nominate a vice chair since you will be moving
I think
to
we're
the
going to
chair?
do that the next meeting.
The next meeting, okay.
Next meeting.
You can't do it tonight?
No, ma'am, your policy says at the next ensuing meeting,
Okay,
so I think you need to
Okay.
wait and do it the next meeting.
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, next meeting. David Russ, you may come forward.
You may want to wait till agenda.
Thank you, Mrs. Gibson. Congratulations, board members, Mr. Reeves and Dr. Pickles. Thank you for the opportunity and distinguished guests. My name is David Russ. I work with Sam Kellett and all of his businesses. Chief Financial Officer of Aware, that's the in-ear technology that we told you guys about, United Sciences, and then work on the other businesses at Riverbend, Second Bend, and his personal affairs, as Tommy, as you can attest. And he sends his best regards. He's actually on a flight right now to California. He's going to visit one of the larger drone companies in the nation who also does soldier-borne systems, and they're interested in the biometrics and how all that ties together as well. And Madison is part of the conversation as it relates to the activities at Second Bend, the ability to potentially manufacture and obviously access to the military operating area as we kind of laid out that vision. And a little bit of an update on kind of the macro factors driving this. You'll see some recent news around driving drone manufacturing preparedness for the country. And there's $1 billion initiative that the Department of War announced called Drone Dominance. And those initiatives are some of the macro efforts that are driving, the ability to drive jobs to and produce, put jobs in schools like Lee and Pinetta, right, where we can actually do manufacturing. It doesn't need to be a large auto manufacturing plant. This is 3D printing, so we can attract jobs doing that kind of activity. And we have customers coming down this month, both for the training and the drone activity. So the vision is we're getting a lot of traction on. And I wanted to address and be able to answer questions around some of the concerns that were communicated to me through council as far as having skin in the game. This is an opportunistic purchase on our part. It's ahead of where we would want to be right now. But and it's a significant investment for small companies and a single individual owner. So the $50,000 is a meaningful amount. But beyond that, it's really a social contract on Mr. Kellett's part, as well as everybody who works with him and for him, to make good on this vision. So we're going to be working hard to attract these kinds of opportunities to Madison, and drive those job opportunities. Right now the opportunity to do that is based on restrictions to not be able to convey, to not be able to lease. It makes the property, non-commercial in a way we can't attract tenants, we can't attract partners, we cannot attract capital.
Mr. Russ,
Yes.
if I may interrupt you.
You may.
We could, your 3 minutes is also up. If we
Okay.
could wait until the conveyance comes up
Okay,
and you address at that time.
okay, happy
Since
to.
that's during that time of the meeting.
Okay,
Okay?
yeah,
If the board is okay with that.
thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Milton? Let's wait until it comes up on the agenda, all right?
Yeah,
So we'll do that, thank you. Consent agenda. 4.1 minutes, 4.2 audit reports, 4.3 grant approval, 4.4 staff travel and field trip requests, 4.5 fundraisers. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the consent agenda.
I second.
We have a motion by Ms. Hagan, second by Ms. Thompson. Any discussion? All those in favor, show by show of hands. 5-1. Items for individual consideration. 5.1 personnel changes. Mr. Copeland.
Good evening, how are y'all?
Great, thank you.
You have in your package the personnel changes that we're proposing for your approval tonight. And we do have quite a few. The top of the page, you'll see our instructional employee recommendations. These are new placements. And I don't know if y'all want to, since we have quite a few here, if you want to go through and approve them by segment or just go through the whole thing. Okay, that's perfect there.
We don't need to go through.
Gotcha. Second, you'll see our instructional and non-instructional employee transfers and reassignments. These are both moves of current employees into the proposed positions listed on the personnel change form. You'll see our non-instructional employee recommendations, 3 paraprofessionals at the central school. And the last segment, we have our employee resignations, terminations, retirements, leave of absences, and other. If you have any questions on those, I'll be glad to answer what I can. And And then we just ask that y'all
I see that
consider
you,
approving.
I see that you moved Ms. Memory. When will that job be advertised?
Is the job she's coming from?
Yes, sir. With the guidance, and you know that's an important job. It's a guidance counselor.
Ms. Hagan, I don't plan on filling that position.
Well, now you know,
We're actually going
The board
to,
has to approve not to.
we're gonna talk about that in our staffing updates.
Okay.
We'll talk about
I've
that.
had concerns with so many people about that position. It would be useless for the guidance counselor. She's a new guidance counselor, and for that not to be filled, but we'll talk about that next.
We'll talk about that during our staffing updates.
Any other questions?
Any questions for Mr. Copeland?
If I also made, Ms. McGriff's transfer was an involuntary transfer,
Okay.
so.
The second page, you'll see we have 3 volunteers to present for approval tonight. And
Put that all together.
all that together, and y'all do your thing if so.
Madam Chair, I move to accept the personnel changes and volunteers.
We have a motion by Ms. Knight, second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Hagan.
I think before you vote, don't you have a relative?
I do, yes.
Okay.
I need to recuse myself from Tracy Kelly.
Okay.
And then you'll have to fill out the form and all that. So that will just go ahead and approve. the whole
Okay,
thing.
we'll just go down. Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? 4-0. All right, thank you, Mr.
All
Holden.
right, thank you.
5.3 supplement list update. Dr. Nichols?
Mr. Copeland is gonna, his name is by there, although I can go through it.
Yeah, we got, sorry, I've got out of sync on my agenda here. You'll see on the supplement schedule in your package, we have a couple of changes. One of them is simply removing the supplement with the current individual that was in place and adding a to-be determined person to come on as the varsity softball coach. So no changes in dollars, just changes in the staffing side of it. And then we do have one change with the video media, Ms. Fletcher, and you'll see that, I believe it's highlighted in your package. That's the changes we have to propose.
Do we have a
Madam
motion?
Chair, I need to say something.
All right, we need to go to discussion. Madam Chair, I move to accept the supplemental list.
We have a motion by Ms. Knight,
Second.
second by Ms. Thompson. Discussion?
Yes, ma'am. And if you will notice at the high school, there are positions that to be filled, and whatever, it's team leader. Okay.
Yeah.
Team leader. Now, I had had some discussions way months before that a certain person had volunteered for team leader, and that wasn't taken into consideration. That person is here tonight. If she wants to speak on it, she volunteered to be team leader on the ESE. That was Miss Gwen Hubbard. She had spoken to me about it. She's here. If she wants to discuss it with you all tonight, and that position is not filled, so if we have somebody who's going to volunteer, fill it. Madam Chair,
Is that a position that's already been approved?
it's been approved and it's not filled.
It's not filled.
Mhm.
It's listed as TBA.
Mhm.
Okay,
I will get with Dr. Cunningham
okay.
and make that, and we will update this.
But Ms. Hubbard is here, so if she still wants it, she had spoken to me about it months earlier, but she's here, and yes, I did put on the spot, so she had no business telling me.
So for the rest of the public, the recommendations come through the principal to me. When there's changes in the dollar figures, the overall dollar figure stays the same. the union president and vice president will sign off. Because that was done this year with Central School. Their overall figures stayed the same, but they changed some of the dollar amounts, and they did get with our union.
We're understanding that, I'm understanding that, what I'm not understanding. And you said that the principal make those recommendations.
That's
Well,
correct.
she needs to explain to us then why she doesn't want Ms. Gwen Hubbard.
I
And
will
if
find
Ms.
that
Gwen
out.
Hubbard is qualified or not qualified, she needs to explain that.
I will find that out.
Maybe you can check into that.
I will do
Ma'am?
that.
Dr. Pickles will check into that.
Thank you.
Yes, and thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Of course.
Okay, Mr. Copeland, did you finish?
I finished.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a first and a second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. All those in favor? 5-0. Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Copeland.
y'all.
Amendments to student code of conduct. Mr. Williams?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Basically, this is just approving the amendments that we discussed in the workshop earlier. In your handout, we just changed some verbiage, updated some verbiage and made it clearer, more clear, so that there'd be no confusion.
Exactly.
Thank
And so when we change that, those changes, we had the workshop on it. So those changes has to be
Well,
advertised.
this is what we're going to vote on.
Mhm. That's exactly, so I'm just getting it clear.
Right.
So that's what you're asking us to advertise now.
Recommend
those
that you
changes.
advertise the changes.
Okay, thank you, just trying to get it straight.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Does anyone have a question for Mr. Williams? Okay, do we have a motion to advertise the amendments?
Madam Chair, I move to accept the student code of conduct for advertising.
We have a motion by Ms. Knight, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Carroll. Any discussion?
This is approval of the advertised already, is that what you're saying?
This is to advertise.
Approval of the changes that were
Yes,
made.
yes, yes.
This is to advertise, and what we would do is post this on our website once approved, or which would probably be, I think we determined would be the April meeting.
Mhm.
And so when we would have the hearing and then final approval, and we're not reprinting the books.
Okay.
We would actually attach it, and anybody, they could print it out and put it in their current. But moving forward for next year, then we would make these updates.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, show of hands. 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Thank
you. 5.5, additional pay stipend requests. Dr. Pickles?
There are two additional stipend requests. One is for Ms. Fletcher and one is for Mr. Bush during the month of December. Why, based on the retirement of Ms. Presley, Ms. Fletcher began teaching and gave up her planning period. And so that's what her stipend is for. We have since now hired a teacher, just approved. So then Mr. Bush is agreed to give up his planning period to go teach math for the remainder of this year. So that's what his request is for. So I do recommend approval of these stipends.
Thank you, Dr. Pickles. Do we have a motion for additional pay stipend requests?
Madam Chair, I make the motion to approve the additional pay stipend.
We have a motion by Ms. Thompson, second. Second. Second by Ms. Hagan. Any discussion? All those in favor by show of hands? 5-0. Thank you. 5.6, ESE procedures. Sleep.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I provided you with the updated folder. We did have a little misconnection here on the teen parenting information. That's general information from the state that you are well within your wheelhouse to have from informational context. But tonight I want to present the two items that we presented at the board workshop last month, which is the mental health and behavioral health services request, which is how our students will receive urgent or emergent health support for mental health situations, as well as behavioral health situations. We wanted to refine our process, as you know, and so we're here to present that. as well as the new form for parent or guardian referral for mental health or behavioral health services. And that is to include information for Medicaid billing, as well as the different frameworks for behavioral concerns.
Thank you. Any questions? Do we have a motion to approve the ESC procedures?
I move we approve the ESC procedures.
We have a motion by Mr. Carroll, second.
I second.
Second by Ms. Thompson. Any discussion? All those in favor by show of hands? 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
5.7, student progression plan, Dr. Holmes.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
I provided for you in the revised packet the suggestions, the revised suggestions. They were highlighted in yellow, all of the recommended changes based on the survey that was sent out to teachers, as well as a face-to-face meeting that was had with the request of group of high school teachers for your approval and for, if approved, advertising of the student progression plan.
Thank you for doing that. Do we have a motion to approve the student progression plan? No, excuse me. Do we have a motion to advertise the changes in the student progression plan?
Madam Chair, I move to advertise the changes to the student progression plan.
We have a motion by Ms. Meyer, second. Second by Mr. Carroll. Any discussion?
I do have discussions. The discussion that I have, and when I was on this board before 1.0, and as you said, when you got here, there was nothing for you to work with. 1.0, we're not expecting our children to do anything. For graduation, you gotta have just a 1.0. Remember, we had that 2.0. And some way it got lost. When you came here, you couldn't find anything on it, but it was lost. And we had a 2.0. When you want a 1.0, we're not expecting our children to graduate because you cannot graduate from the state with 1.0. You have to have a 2.0 to graduate. So the 1.0 is not going to do us any good in that student progression plan. It's not going to do our students any good. We're dumbing our students down and not making them, instead of teaching to them, we're teaching down for them to have that 1.0. And they won't be able to graduate by state standards. And then, like, some of these children get scholarships, and when they get the scholarships and they don't have the grade point average from what the state requires, they can't accept the scholarships. So we need to start teaching up. We need to change it from that 1.0, and no condemnation on you.
No.
Because when you told us and presented all that, you said there was nothing else, and that was just a starting point on your part. But with that starting point, before we advertise, we need to get it straight about that 1.0. Before we advertise a 1.0 for graduates.
Yes, ma'am. And there was some discussion about that, but if I may offer some additional insight, keeping in mind, originally the plan did not include any type of GPA requirement, like you said, based on where it got
On
lost.
where you, because I've been on this board long enough,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I do know that it was.
But if
And so you didn't get it, or it was taken out some kind of way.
right, but just keeping in mind that if at the 2.0 again, could potentially increase the number of students that are retained in ninth grade, if that is the start.
It's better that they're retained in ninth grade than when they get to 12th grade, then they don't have what they need. So better that you start at the bottom of the tier instead of, waiting until they get 12th grade.
I agree with you. I feel like we have to hold our students to a higher standard.
I agree. Now, can this be remedied now? No, 'cause right now, we're just advertising this.
Yes, I can make that,
And so-
I can make that change and provide an updated copy before you
Oh,
advertise it.
right.
That is,
Nothing
if
is
that
done.
is the pleasure of
If
the
the
board.
board, Mr. Reeves, if the board votes on that tonight to raise it up,
It can be
then it can
advertised.
be advertised.
Absolutely.
Because we don't have any, suggestions with the rest of it. It was good. We thank you.
I can make that change and provide that updated document.
You already have a motion.
So Ms. Knight
Yes, I can
and
amend
Mr.
it.
Carroll would need to amend the motion.
We'll amend the motion. Okay.
So explain to me the 1.0, because I must have missed it.
It's It's down, on the,
In the matriculation, it lists that the student can be promoted to 10th grade if they have a minimum of 1.0 and they have passed certain courses. Each year, it would then ratchet up. So again, in order to be promoted to 11th grade, they would be required to have a minimum of a 1.5 to be promoted to 11th grade. And then in order to be promoted to 12th grade, they would have to have a minimum of a 1.75, which gives the student an opportunity to earn the 2.0 in order to graduate. But the recommendation from the board now is to have it start at a 2.0 and remain at a 2.0 consistently for each year. Am I understanding correctly?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, so therefore, I would just make that change as far as the GPA requirement is concerned.
That's on page
36.
But they gotta pass 5 classes.
Yes, they would still meet the course requirements, and that's in keeping with the fact that each year they're required to have English and math. So again, if anytime a student fails English or math, it immediately puts them behind graduation because again, they're having to make up coursework in English and math. That's the requirement for English and math being required.
Any other discussion?
Well, I just have questions. I'd be curious to know, what feedback you got from the kindergarten teacher. Did you get any feedback from them?
I did not. I received 2 responses from the central school, one of which, none of it regarding, was only one person had no suggestions.
Okay.
They just filled it out. And the other was in regards to homework, and they wanted something to be more, the specific comment said, homework, I agree, should be used as an extension of the general curriculum, but if a student does not take the opportunity to use it as such and fails to return assigned homework, then it should be punitive. If homework is defined as being an extension of the classroom assignments, then it should be a graded component. That was the feedback that was received from that teacher.
All right, Madam Chair, I would like to amend my motion to accept the changes to the student progression plan for advertisement with the amendment of changing the minimum grade 1 average to 2.0.
We have a motion by Ms. Knight,
Does your second still stand?
second by,
Does your second still stand?
second by Mr. Carroll. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair, okay, so just to be clear, that's on page 36,
Correct.
where it says 10, 1.0, 11, 1.5, 12, 1.75, all those are going to now say 2.0.
Correct.
All those in favor, raise your hand. 5.0. Thank you. 5.8, Madison County High School Agriculture Building Quotes.
Good afternoon, members of the board. Well, presenting to you tonight, there's 2 quotes in front of you. One of them is for the ag barn. The other one is for the greenhouse at the high school. These figures are reimbursements from insurance company that we're going to replace those buildings with. So I need your approval to use that money to replace these 2 buildings. We took the buyout on the two ag barns that was torn down by the hurricane, and we're using that money to build a brand new barn for them out there, an equipment barn. And then we took the buyout on the greenhouses, and the greenhouse is, we're going to fix to build them a brand new greenhouse. So this was these figures were originally in the all-state contract that y'all approved a while back. Will's gonna explain to it, Allstate's gonna give us those figures, he's backing those figures out of his contract, and we're gonna take that money and do it ourselves. So, I just need y'all's approval to move forward with these 2 buildings.
Madam Chair.
Do we have a motion to approve the Madison County High School Agriculture Building Quotes?
Madam Chair, as somebody who has been inquiring about this for years, I very gladly move
And
that
I
we
second. We have
get
a
these
motion,
buildings replaced.
we have a motion by Ms. Knight, second. And Ms. Hagan. Any discussion? Further discussion?
How long is it going to take?
Well,
because I get asked all the time. So if I finally have an answer, I might actually,
I know there's
Then if I
gonna
don't-
be lead times on production for the building, probably 6 to 8 weeks. Maybe a little longer, but we're fixing to put the ball in motion.
that is great news. Thank
We
you guys
will
so
push.
much.
Thank you.
We will push.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Appreciate you.
By a show of hands, all in favor? 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Gill.
Thank you.
You got that, Mr. Rutherford?
5.9, conveyance of properties. Dr. Pickles?
Ms. Gibson, do we want to go ahead and do the closeout and then come back to the conveyance?
5.11, since Mr. Rogers.
We could do that, yeah. Okay,
You mind?
let's jump down to 5.11, all-state closeout. Mr. Rutherford?
Can I spend a little more time on our conveyance?
It's all good. So quickly, want to kind of pick up where Tim pushed through that. So we were able to find some ways with insurance in regards to the greenhouse and ag buildings. We picked up more of that buyout money, which pulled it back. So then what you see in your packet is a signature block and a change order, okay, number 2. And what that change order says is that you're going to get back $105,000, okay, back. So that total project deduct would be around $225,000, which drops that to $500,000 or so, beyond that original quote. And then buying those greenhouses at about 50, with the ag code, 50% and change. So it really gives you a push of about 100.5 better. And insurance fully covers all of it, which has been hard to get done. So a signature on that AA change order doc number 2 is what I need to close them out. They'll be 100% paid. Then their number 9 finishes out their payment on their pay application, which Tim will submit. And then that contract is closed, and we will complete the ag and the greenhouse, permitting those in the morning. So that we'll pull those, and then it should be fine.
So Will, it's just page 1 is what the board needs to approve this on?
Yes. That's the one I need to see from the
Do we have a motion to all-state closeout?
Madam Chair, I move that we do the all-state closeout.
We have a motion by Ms. Hagan, second. Second by Ms. Knight. Any discussion? By a show of hands, all in favor? Thank you, Mr. Rutherford.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's,
Mr. White.
I'll go ahead and do Mr. White now.
let's do
We're
this.
skipping around.
5.10, let's go up, yeah. Quarterly inspection report, Mr. White.
Good evening. Hopefully you've had a chance to look through those reports now. I do have a meeting with Nisbet on January 21st at our quarterly meeting with the risk manager of the state to go over the action plan that is, I'm still working to finalize. I'm just here if you guys have any questions about either inspection.
No, sir, I'm just so glad that you tagged those water fountains. There have been plenty of times that I wanted to drink out of those water fountains. And, children are sometimes more particular than, adults. So I know that they're not drinking out of those water fountains. And thank you for tagging those things.
I appreciate it, too. Yes. Do we have a motion to approve the quarterly inspection report?
I move to approve the quarterly inspection report.
We have a motion by Ms. Thompson, second.
A second.
Second by Ms. Knight. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Tammy, 5-0. Thank you, Mr. White.
Thank you.
All right, 5.9, conveyance of properties, Dr. Pickles.
Now we go to our conveyance. So we'll begin with our Lee and Pinetta first, our properties there. As Mr. Russ began at the beginning, we did go through our long process. We put out our RFP. We received multiple proposals. We narrowed it down to 2 as far as our top award for our Lee and Pinetta. And then then as far as number two, we'll talk about for Greenville. So we have gone kind of back and forth with the contract due to the conflict of interest with Mr. Reeves. We've had to hire an outside attorney to draft up this contract. In the original presentation, and if you go back and recall, Mr. Kellett did put in what he intends to do with the properties. So he does intend to have the manufacturing and use it. He does intend to provide internships for our students and also provide the leadership, like a leadership academy for our students. It will become a commercial type property. So it does put it back on the tax rolls and everything. So I know Mr. Russell started talking about it. There are those concerns about what the stipulations the board is putting in there. Ultimately, it's not my decision. I'm not a voting member. That is your decision, what happens with these properties. So I know Ms. Megan could address those more. So, and this ultimately is up to the board. Overall, I do think it is a good opportunity for the county because of the opportunity for jobs, more opportunity for our students. I really do think that. You have to stop and think when our students are having to move away or they do not have the job opportunities here. So anytime we can think about trying to build our workforce and have those opportunities that our children can graduate high school, try to have a job here and not have to move away. Or if they go off to college, they can come right back here. So, Ms. Megan, I'll now turn it over to you to go through the contract.
Just let me say this, Madam Chair, please. I need to get a better picture and a clearer picture of what's going to happen. Because in our last school board meeting, it was presented to us that if he should sell within the next 3 years, so that was never one of our positions that he would sell that property. And if he would sell in the next 3 years, we would get 25% of the net profits. And I want to know what happened to the gross profit. And I did address that the last time. Net profit is nothing. You can make it safe and do whatever you want to. Gross is a different story. But what I said, all I wanted was the jobs that he had promised us. And it's in the meetings, public information. I've had so many people to call me about it. He promised us that he could do 20,000 jobs. And I said, we don't even have 20,000 people on the voting roll. But that was a concern, and now I can't go to the doctor. I can't go nowhere over town. Yes, I got people talking about drones. We don't want drones. Is it going to be big as a car? Is it going to be small as a mosquito? So, I'm just saying, for the town folk calling me and telling me, coming by my house. I'm in the chiropractor's office. I got ganged up on it. And I started laughing at him. I said, y'all need to come speak for yourself, because that's supposed to.
I'd like to hear what Ms. Megan has to say.
Yes, of course, but I needed to say that.
Good evening, board members. So based on the history that Dr. Pickles just recited, you'll recall that we had exchanged an initial draft. And after that, the board heard from me in the meeting and then workshopped this. And the response was very much so that because each school only brought $25,000, that the board wanted certain restrictions to kind of ensure the future of this building and the promises that had been made. We revised the contract accordingly and sent a draft back to legal counsel. And the response was largely just that this property is unlike Greenville. This is truly a commercial transaction where to perform the business they want to perform, including the infrastructure that they're going to need to develop this property, there could very well be a scenario where they need to finance this property, they need to take a mortgage on it, they need to rent, and so the short version is they cannot have the restrictions that the board has imposed. And obviously Mr. Russ is here, you've heard from him a little bit, you can speak to it further. My understanding is the only restrictions they are willing to accept is what's currently 8.1, the educational K through 12 restriction, that it not be used for that purpose. And I think they may still be willing to agree to the net, proceeds or percentage thereof to the school board in the event they were to sell. But other than that, I think at this point, it's, I hate to say it, but a who blinks first, and how bad does the board want to get rid of it? Because they are adamant that there not be restrictions on this commercial property. You know, I think quite candidly, it's been conveyed that they're taking a gamble. I think they would tell you that, you know, $25,000, and you heard this from Mr. Russ, it may not be a lot in the scheme of things, but it's a lot to an individual, small business. And beyond that, the board should look at the other things that come with it, the potential for growth, jobs. It is back on the tax rolls. Even if they were to sell it or lease it, it would be a commercial building. It would still be on the tax rolls. It derives income that way and is obviously beneficial to the county. But beyond that, again, I think those are the only restrictions they're willing to accept, and so it's really a decision for the board of whether you're willing to let it go without those restrictions, or not, because there doesn't seem to be a lot of middle ground to be achieved.
Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Of course.
May I speak?
Yes.
Okay, and then as we're saying, they're wanting to take loans out on the property. When they take loans on the property belongs to the people who they take the loan out on. It no longer belongs to us. So they can take $500,000 and not pay that $500,000. Then it should come back to the board, and if we want that property, we have to pay that $500,000. So those are some of the facts that I want to bring out about that.
I had the same discussion with council as well.
And I've had so many people in the community now talking about it, and then they wanted to know from this board. And like I said, I can't tell you because we had a set date of when we would accept bids from the beginning and ending. And the ending date had already closed before this was presented. Now we got town people who wants to enter bids and stuff. So if we went out of guidelines and accept one bid, well then we go out of guidelines and cut it off, set another bid, whoever wants to, and tonight will be the last time we cut it off. But I'm not willing, I'm telling the board, I'm not willing to take that chance with them borrowing money, and then when they borrow money, and they renege on the money because it came up selling it in 3 years.
Well, speaking of extending it, we had no interest in Pinetto at all. We still have no interest in Pinetto other than Mr. Skellett. I didn't like the schools being closed down to begin with. I feel better now that there might be some hope for some opportunities, because right now, he's our only person interested.
Did we have somebody else?
Well,
I've had 2 other people call me with concerns about it. Do we have anybody else
they may be
who are willing to
concerned,
speak up? Because we went out of guidelines when we accept that bid, when it was a closing date.
Okay.
But here's the thing, I'm speaking because the people asked me to speak. Y'all speak and let the people hear what I say, and let them hear what you got to say.
Well, okay, but right now, we have no other person interested in that school, and I go by it regularly. It's basically like my house would go to pot. If I left it, that's what happens, and that's what's happening to the school right now. And we're gonna be paying for anything, any vandalism, any storms that come up. We're responsible, the charter company, we're still responsible for it. So I felt.
So you're gonna just give it away, even though we have other
Now,
towns.
Ms. Hagan, I'm still speaking.
Well, when you finish, I want to speak
You're
again.
gonna speak again, but, you know, we have to all have.
Because
our
it's a
own-
dialogue.
I know, that's right, okay. All right, but this was the only, like I said, I was feeling good about this. I feel like he was gonna connect with the school, that would provide help with the education, provide employment opportunities, that would help for the people that would like to work, and basically keep the place up, and I know it's gonna be a place of business. All right, but right now, I mean, like I said, this is the only person interested in it.
Well, when, Madam, may I speak?
Yes, you may.
Well, then, when it was first presented to us, it was presented to us because that question was good, it's in public record. He said he had all the money that he needed to complete. Now, you all know this. I'm not making this up. He said he had all the money that he needed to do and process what he wanted to do. Now, all of a sudden, he needs money, and I'm concerned about that 3 years. We'll give him the permission to sell after 3 years.
So you'd rather have
And so-
us keep it on,
I
in other words,
do.
maintain it?
Yes, ma'am, the citizens do. And then, then just like we took that bid, we could just go back and take other bids. Because I've had two people,
our door.
I've had two people calling me.
Yes.
I'm still talking. She told you, told me she was still talking, I'm still talking. And I've had several people from the community, in fact, 2 corporations and whatever, that they are interested now. But they said that the bid date had passed. But I said we took another one in when it had passed, so maybe now they need to speak for themselves.
Well, let's hear from some other board members.
The superintendent is trying to speak.
Would you like to say something?
Could I address
Mr.
some
Russ would like
concerns,
to
please?
No, we're in discussion now.
Go ahead.
So, Mr. Russ would like to speak.
You said you wanted to hear from other board members.
Well, did you want to speak? Yes, we are going to hear from other board members.
Mr. Russ,
Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. Just to address some of the concerns, you know, we can commit today when we sign to what we know and what we won't do and what we aren't doing. The future, we need to have commercial flexibility. So, for instance, in the purchase and sale agreement, we can make a representation with liquidated damages that we're not talking to any banks right now. That we have no designs to take a loan on the property. It's not part of the plan today. But we need the flexibility if an opportunity comes up. We need to be able to invest in the property and it requires a loan for whatever reason. It's just, if we bought a warehouse, we'd have the ability to put a loan on it and expand on it. So it's just a restriction that makes it, you can't do anything with property if you can't convey it to somebody else or take a loan on it. And yes, the bank needs to be able to convey on it. So, for instance, we can, and I know you guys have been burned before on other, you know, properties, whether it's the hospital or whatever. So we can commit to you, make a rep and warranty in the purchase agreement that we're not working with a single party about selling the property right now. Okay, and up to closing, that's not the plan. But if we have a partner that comes in and says, well, we want to expand, we want to put $5 million in, go get a loan on the property, and I need a purchase option because I always control my, you know, my manufacturing. A commercial deal, for example, right? That's just a commercial transaction that, you know, would bring into play both a mortgage and potential conveyance, right? So we have no plans to flip it, but maybe afterwards, and you guys have participation in the first 3 years. And so that's for what we don't know after closing, but I can tell you up to closing, what we know right now is we're not working with anybody to sell it to, and we won't up till closing. And we're not planning on working on selling it after closing. We're planning on doing what we're telling you guys. There's no surprises here, is what I'm saying. So we can rep and warranty on what we're working on, what we know we're going to do and what we're not going to do. But in the future, yes, we need the ability to do commercial things that anybody can do with a commercial property. But there is no designs. We're not taking them on. What other concerns can I address? So that is a deeded restriction to not be able to sell the property or not be able to take a loan out. So then it's not a commercial property, so we can't really do business with it. But we can rep and warranty as to what we know to be the case today, what we'll do, what we'll not do. Anyway, so I just wanted to address that as far as.
Do you have any questions, Mr. Ross?
No, I mean, I don't have questions, but I have the same concerns. You know, and just in the statement that you made, you know, the key thing for me in there is if you went and bought a warehouse, well, you're not buying these. I mean, yes, you are putting a little bit of.
$50,000.
Yeah, for $1 million worth of real estate. You know, that's not really buying it for even a fair portion of what fair market value is.
It's a fraction of what the replaceable value is. You
I-
guys should take the best deal you can get from
Correct.
the whole
For
buyer.
us, it's not, your deal is not about the dollars, it's about what it could potentially do for the community. And the happy medium in there is, what guarantee do we have if we remove all of these conveyances that you guys are going to do what you are going to do? You say the plan right now is to not do these things, but after we give you what you want, you can go do whatever you want to. We have a financial responsibility and to be good stewards to our constituents, and these are all things that we have to take into consideration. Yes, we want to believe everything that you're telling us, but that does not mean that once this paperwork is signed, sealed, and delivered, you don't go get a couple $1 million on those properties and then do this.
So you have bankers in the community. These are the least financeable properties I've ever seen in 30 years of finance. It would require a personal guarantee on Sam Kellett's part
Right, and
in
so-
order to take a loan on it. There's
And
no income.
so why can't we get that same personal guarantee?
You want a deed of restriction not to take a mortgage?
It's
It's not,
not the responsibility of the school board. We're here to educate children, not to create jobs for the community. But if we can create jobs, of course we will, but we don't want to take shit in other people.
Does anyone else have something to say?
I would hate to have this opportunity, and I understand what everybody's saying, but sometimes you have to step out there on faith. This me, y'all don't throw nothing at me. For our kids to have an opportunity, for our people to have an opportunity to work in our county, for us to receive some tax money from these places. I know, I'd like a guarantee too, I would, but I don't feel like a guarantee that I get home tonight, but I don't have
It's in the Lord's hand. It's in the board's hand.
That's in the Lord's hand.
And then when, you know, it has already been thrown in the plans, now thinking about 7 and 3 years. You're telling us something, and if we don't look at it, and we don't research, and we don't know, and like, I ain't got no sense, I'm not an ignorant, little small county, Madison County girl. You know, and I don't think none of the rest of us are, but when you come to some of these big towns, you think Madison County people are ignorant, and we just gonna take whatever's handed to us, because you speak a good deal, but then the intentions, and then what you put in place after the good deal, what you have presented, is a different story.
And I think Ms. Thompson wanted to say something?
I wanted to ask you, Ms. Gibson, because we're specifically talking about Pinetta, what are you hearing from the residents and constituents in
I
your
think they're
district?
feeling hopeful.
Okay.
I really do. You can, going back to what Mr. Carroll said, you cannot predict success or failure.
Right.
We hope for the best. We
Right.
don't know. You don't know. That's one of the unknowns. And I'm feeling positive about it, and they are.
Mrs.
And
Gibson,
this
do I
school
need
has
to
been
have your
out.
constituents call you instead of calling me?
Excuse me, I'm answering a question for Ms. Thompson.
And I want to speak
And we
next.
we'll get back to you again. But no, I feel like, they feel like there's some hope out there. And again, going back to what Mr. Carroll said, you know, I mean, I can use myself as an example. My husband borrowed money for chicken houses. It was a lot of money.
Personal.
We didn't know if that was going to be a success or a failure. Luckily, it was a success.
Personal land that
But
you
yeah,
own.
but anyway, so we just don't know. And it's not only that, the school board has given buildings for years, you know, away, and hope that something will become of it. And for the most part, they have. Let's bring up Mr.
Well, no, I want to speak. Do you want me to have your constituents to call you instead of calling me because you said you've not received any feedback on it? And I asked them, I definitely asked them what district are they in, and I tell them you need to call your own school board member, and then here it is, what they were saying. Okay, they were saying the 2 acres that's at the Pinetta School, and then the leaf acres, and they were talking about the drones, and they said, they're gonna be flying directly over my house. And if it's the landing, they leaving Pinetta, the landing, and then going back to Lee. All that has been brought to my attention, but I have your members to call you.
Let me say
I
this,
asked them to call me
I
and
did
they'll
not
call
say
you.
I did not get feedback.
Come to fruition, we have to assume the liability back on these buildings for our insurance. So we took this into account when we discussed with 4 of the 5 and then actually voted for these staff raises. Our teachers and our staff deserve those raises. So that is something just a moment, Ms. Hagan. That is something we will definitely have to take into account. We knew we could handle that $1 million because this was coming off.
Madam Chair,
We were moving forward with that.
those raises were not taken in consideration of us giving $50,000 to them. The previous year, when we had done negotiation, we took step by step by step. In the previous year, if you would remember, we had said, and we had figured the figures, that we would be giving these raises even before we knew that that $50,000 was going to come to us. And every board member must remember that. So that's not that $50,000 is not included in the teachers' raises. And we had said that the teachers should have gotten a raise a long time ago, and we had taken precautions and steps so that we could, in the last negotiating meeting, that these teachers could get that. And none of this was a factor in it at all because it hadn't even come to us. Board members, remember?
Ms. Hagan, if I may correct, the $50,000 has nothing to do with this. The fact that it is coming off of our insurance is what plays a huge factor into this. We're taking 3 buildings off of our insurance. So we're fixing to have to call our property and casualty insurance and let them know we need to put these back on our books come May 1st if this does not come to fruition. So I did want to remind the 5 of you of that too.
That was my understanding.
Thank you for that
at the
reminder.
meeting of it.
Let's have Ms. Cersei, or Ms. Milton come up. Ms. Vivian.
Thank you, Board. Here it is. Mary, Marina.
Yeah, everybody.
I'm Vivian Cersei Milton from Lee. Graduated from Lee Elementary School, so go Rockets. But I am interested in the Lee School, and I would like to ask the board to open proposals or accept new proposals for the use of the Lee School. I would like to use it or develop it into an agricultural education center. So that is my request, is to ask the board to throw out the old proposals and accept new proposals.
Can you explain further what you're talking about?
Explain further?
Yes, ma'am, you just said agricultural. Well, I mean, you know, that's just one proposal. Do you have other proposals or whatever you're going to do?
Well, it
We
would
could
be,
probably, if you state a little bit more, I would like to hear a little bit more rather than just agricultural. That's the only thing that you would be interested in?
well, I would like to submit a proposal of what I would like to do.
Can you give us some more?
Some of the things that we looked at would be agricultural classes, seminars. We have discussed with IPAS, University of Florida. We would like to do agricultural education, workforce development initiatives, hands-on training workshops, educational seminars. We would like to do skills training. And I think probably one of the moving or motivating factors is that for rural areas, they need technical skills. As in, you can't just, nobody can just drive a tractor anymore. It is so technologically different, you have to have computer skills. So not only that, but you also have to, you know, there's also plumbing, welding. We would like to, we would like to see it move into a tech.
You offer these skills to our school children in the community?
Ma'am?
Would you be offering those skills to the community and the school children?
Yes, if it doesn't compete, I mean, I know we cannot compete with the school.
No.
Exactly.
So, right, I know that. This would be like an adult education, that people, that it would give something back to the community, like skills to the community after they have graduated.
So you want to start a school there, you're saying?
No.
No, if you're teaching, that means school, teaching equals school. You want to have a school there?
No.
Is that, you're saying welding and all this stuff, that means teachers and all, you know.
Well, well, in workshops,
That's not competing with the school.
I mean, I wouldn't want, I know what, it would not be competing with the school and your bylaws and the statutes. And what, when you sell the property, we would have no intentions of competing with that.
Nonprofit in the courses or any infringe on us as a school system from K through 8 education.
Right, now, we would have no interest in doing
I'm just trying to put it out and get it straight and whatever. I need stuff straight in my mind.
Ms. Middleton, if I may ask, have you explored what your funding sources would be?
that. Well, that's going to be, it would be through grants, through partnerships. It would be just like, I think it's, what is it? The technical school in Perry, and then the one, and I understand their waiting list in Perry and in Valdosta to get into those schools.
So this is a vision that you have, in other words, you haven't really,
Right.
this is your vision.
Correct.
So you're asking asking us to be able to submit a proposal.
Yes, I am asking to submit a proposal.
Okay, well, I would like to take care of the business that we are doing right now. You know, I mean, I appreciate you coming and sharing, but right now, we've got to take care of what is on the agenda, let's put it that way, you know. But I appreciate your thoughts on that, and thank you for coming to us.
Right. I just want to do what's in the best interest for the county.
Right. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Any more discussion?
Do we need this slogan to come back up?
Yes.
So board members, I think really at this point, obviously I represent you, I represent your interest. I just need some direction from the board as whether you're willing to remove the restrictions and proceed with the transaction, or whether those restrictions are a hard stop for you guys, and that's how you want to proceed.
Well, I personally can live with the restrictions.
And I can't. I can't, for the stated reasons. And citizen of Madison, you said you was gonna be on this call and hear me and listen to what I say. I cannot live with those restrictions.
I don't know how you want to phrase it. I think you can, make a motion to proceed with the contract, or
I move to proceed with the contract with Mr. Sam Skellett for Lee and Pinetta Elementary School.
And Madam Chair, you cannot do that. You cannot be as chair and make motions
no.
in seconds.
All right, I'm sorry.
So,
I'm still part of the school board, I'm sorry. Do we have a motion?
I think the question, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Logan, you've got on paragraph 8 lists all the restrictions. And so if you want to approve, you would say, well, I move that we approve it and either leave the restrictions in or delete whichever ones of those you want to delete or have you want to move forward. That's what I think the motion,
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll try to simplify that. I think if you want the deal to go forward, it would be a motion to approve the contract, removing all exceptions except 8.1, which is the educational restriction.
Do we have a motion for the conveyance of properties?
I move for the conveyance of property.
We have a motion by Mr. Carroll, second.
wait, you're gonna have to be a little more specific. You want to remove the restrictions other than 8.1?
As Ms.
Yeah, as the
stated.
attorney has stated.
So that would remove all the
Madam Chair,
exceptions.
this motion fails for a lack of a second. You can't give all night for a second.
We're still,
There's a time
we're
period.
talking with Mr. Carroll right now to get the motion.
Go ahead.
Are you finished, Mr. Carroll?
Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Carroll. Second.
You can pass the gavel. Now.
I second.
All right, discussion?
Any discussion?
Okay, all in favor? All opposed?
Motion failed.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, guys.
And this is kind of commissioners do a fine job.
Excuse me, Mr. Reeves was talking now.
I was just gonna say, we had put on Greenville's contract because y'all had expressed that you wanted everything to be the same and all that. I talked to their attorney, he had asked if we continue it to the next meeting, so if that's okay, let's just go ahead and continue. They still were in discussion about what they want.
So we'll do that next meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, very good. All right. All right, that finishes that. Dr. Pickles?
So under superintendent items, Miss Katie Roberts has been split. We have her actually at the high school going through the media center, going through the books there. And there is one of the rooms that there are a ton of books that have already been marked for discard. So Miss Griffin, who retired back in December, has already gone through the books and marked them for discard. I would like to reach out to a community organization to see if they are interested in the books. So as long as there's no objections from the board, I will do that because I do want to make use of the books. Some of the books are very worn. Katie has opened the boxes. They're very worn. And very old books, but they're already removed out of our system and everything. So as long as I hear no objections, I'll reach out.
Are there any objections? No, we don't have any objections.
I've received word our central school has been selected to participate in the Just Read Florida initiative, their annual celebration. So and they, department officials will be here on January 27th. So we're excited about that. That's kind of a big deal. They will come and read to our pre-K and kindergarten classes. So as they finalize the details, we'll advise the board. But on the 21st of this month, so just 2 weeks or a week, I will be at the state board meeting in Tallahassee to review our PM2 data with the state board and update them. As soon as that's over, I'll go ahead and participate in the Rural Days over there in Tallahassee. Session begins tomorrow. You should have received that email from Chris Doolin. So begin watching, if you watch the Florida channel. So I've been watching all the pre-conference meetings. So go ahead and let's watch and see what happens this session. That's all I have at the moment.
Thank you, Dr. Pickles. Mr. Reeves?
Amen. I'll ask you questions of me.
Any questions for Mr. Reeves? Ms. Thompson?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Hagan?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Carroll?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Knight?
I would just like to say thank you to Chloe, our student, for coming and doing our prayer this evening. And that's it.
Thank you.
And we do have an expulsion.
Yes, we do. Okay. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.